It's Tuesday morning. Meteorologist Johnny Lively here. Thanks for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions, which is sponsored by HB Neal Construction. We look over here towards radar, sponsored by Dana Simmons Real Estate Team. It is awfully quiet this morning, but we are expecting some showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon. Coverage should be limited, just around 10 to 20%. But again, quiet right now. Could get a little bit more active later on this afternoon into the evening time hours. Satellite and radar across the state of Texas and Louisiana is awfully quiet. We're starting to see some showers get into the Corpus Christi region, and that's really what we'll see later on this afternoon. Very limited coverage, but we'll see some showers moving into the region, possibly a thunderstorm or two as we get later into the afternoon, closer to the evening time hours. Temperatures across the United States, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. We're starting to see some of the areas getting a little bit warmer, what it has been the last week or two, but you can see further to the north, Dallas is actually to a warmer start at 74, but Oklahoma City at 69, Wichita at 69, Minneapolis at 71, Denver currently at 54 degrees. You get here locally, here in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, really along the I-10 corridor, just varies from the low 70s to mid 70s down towards the coast into the mid to upper 70s, and further to the north, you can find some temperatures getting into the mid to upper 60s. But later today should get pretty warm, getting up to the low 90s. Here's our outdoor and construction forecast for today. Not too bad for majority of the day, but again, later on this afternoon, getting closer to the evening time hours, around that 2, 3, 4 p.m., we can see a couple isolated showers and possibly a storm or two as well. So majority of the day, not looking bad. Just know once we get closer to 2, 3, 4 p.m., pull out your radar and start seeing, is there some showers moving into your region? But overall, this should be a pretty dry day. It's not until the afternoon hours we start seeing some showers moving into the region. Temperatures will be into the low 90s, thanks to our sponsor of Modern Concrete. Here's our upper level flow. We still have that high pressure ridge really right over the state of Texas, kind of shifting a little bit more to the west. This is now allowing for a window of opportunity since it's shifting to the west, a little bit more moisture starting to come into our region today, and a little bit more on Wednesday as well too, and Thursday. But notice that we're starting to see this pattern move a little bit. Instead of that ridge sitting right over us, we're starting to see that ridge move further to the west. We're starting to see some troughing off to the north. This allows more moisture to move into our region and possibly a little bit of energy moving into our region. So here we are getting into the Sunday and Monday, possibly starting to see another round of showers and thunderstorms can be possible as we get into the end of the weekend. So here we are with the atmospheric moisture. Here's a little window of opportunity for moisture coming into our region today, and a decent round coming in on Wednesday, giving us at least 30% coverage on Wednesday. Thursday, we still have a little bit of moisture, but notice we're still battling that dry air into the mid to upper levels. So this is what keeps our rain chances or coverage less than 50%, less than 40%. If there wasn't as much dry air, our coverage would be 60, 70, 80%. Because we still have this battle of dry air and moisture, this is what keeps us somewhat kind of limited in the rain department. But if we look at the rainfall outlook, which is sponsored by Dana Simmons Real Estate Team, you can see we've got 10 to 20% coverage today, 30% on Wednesday and Thursday, goes down a little bit on Friday and Saturday, but starts picking up as we get into the end of the weekend, into early next week, possibly starting to see a little bit of energy moving into our region. 30% comes back into the forecast on Monday. Here's our futurecast for today and getting into Wednesday. Notice as we get into the afternoon hours, we start seeing a little bit more cloud cover. This is just showing us that window of moisture, that opportunity of moisture is coming into our region. These storms come from the Louisiana side and move westward, so we could see a good amount of lightning from some of these isolated storms that we see. But later on this afternoon, getting into those evening time hours, 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m., we'll be watching a couple isolated storms from the Louisiana side moving into parts of southeast Texas later on this evening. Overnight tonight, it dies down. Then tomorrow into the afternoon hours, that's when we can get that 30 to, if not a little bit higher on the coverage, but at least 30% coverage Wednesday afternoon. So we're starting to see a little bit more moisture getting into the region, which gives us a little bit better coverage as we get into Wednesday. So isolated showers and storms today, a little bit better coverage as we get into Wednesday. High temperatures that we're going to see, thanks to Switch Electric, should be into the low 90s. Some areas like Livingston and getting into a little bit further to the north, getting away from the Gulf, you can get close to 95 degrees, but majority of the region, even in southwest Louisiana, should be into the low 90s. Down towards the coast, you will be into the mid to upper 80s. Low temperatures tonight, up further to the north, well north of the I-10 corridor, you can be into the upper 60s. Along the I-10 corridor will be into the low to mid 70s. Down towards the coast should be into the upper 70s to low 80s. Galveston Still will be into the low 80s. Watching the tropics, we actually have two different areas here. Need to update this one graphic. The shaded region in red, that is actually Invest 92L. This has a high chance of developing. There's another wave after that, which has a 20% chance of developing. We'll talk about that later down the road. That is really far away for that to really even track. And looking at the pattern, this should go out to sea. But Invest 92L is where we will talk about right now. We zoom into this area. We can see that there is a good amount of showers and thunderstorms in this region. Deep convection going on here. We're starting to see a little bit of spin as well too. You can see a little bit of spin there. We'll start watching the next couple of days if we get an area of low pressure. This possibly could be a tropical depression, tropical storm in the next couple of days, and we will continue to watch where it goes. Notice there is somewhat of a window of opportunity that this can kind of stay away from the Saharan dust, maybe bubble or shield itself away from the dust. It will have to kind of battle it off in the next couple of days, but I think it will do a pretty decent job of doing that. We'll keep monitoring it. But if we look at the Futurecast models, notice we're starting to get a little bit better spin to it. Showers and thunderstorms stay pretty consistent. As we get into the weekend, this is possibly the time that we start saying this could be a hurricane. Getting into early next week, should be a hurricane, if not a powerful hurricane as we get into next week. But notice this really wants to curve away, very similar to what we saw about a month ago with Hurricane Aaron. So we've got a trough off the East Coast, keeping this well east of the United States. And really the good news is this should stay well northeast of the Leeward Islands, should stay just east of the Bahamas and well east of the East Coast. So I don't see this being an issue at all for the United States, not even being an issue for any islands or anything. But we'll continue to monitor it. One thing's for certain, the Gulf is completely shut down for the next 7, if not 10 days. You can almost say the rest of the month in September, the Gulf looks quiet. 7-day forecast for here in southeast Texas, limited showers and thunderstorm opportunity, 10 to 30% coverage the next couple of days. As we get into the weekend, get down to 10 to 20% coverage, picks back up as we get into Monday, possibly a trough for some energy moving into our region. Temperatures should stay into the low 90s really the next 5 to 7 days. Swing over to southwest Louisiana, same thing. We've got the low coverage the next couple of days, temperatures staying into the low 90s. The lows will be into the low 70s. And really, this is typically where we are temperature-wise. We might be just a little bit slightly above average in the high temperature department, but our normal lows is around that normal time. So we'll start seeing a little bit of better opportunities for some showers and thunderstorms coming up later this afternoon, especially on Wednesday and Thursday. But that is our 7-day forecast. Thanks for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. Keep checking out our Facebook page for more updates. Don't forget our YouTube channel as well too. Have 24/7 access, and we are happy to say that our weather app is in the testing phase. We're getting one step closer for this getting developed, and you can go download it, and we'll definitely let you know when that opportunity is coming. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. Have a wonderful Tuesday.